Welcome, everybody, to Youngstown Studio in downtown Youngstown, Ohio. I'm BJ Lisco here, filling in for Joe Danyi this week on Behind the Scenes. And we've got Alex from AW Vanworks with us. Welcome, Alex.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, happy to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So give me a little bit of background on how AW Vanworks, how that all started.
Yeah, so it's AW Vanworks. It's run by myself, and I have two brothers. And we grew up working construction and everything for our family business, Whitmer's Inc., and so we've always been builders and interested in things like that. And so kind of over the pandemic, we our younger brother and his wife had rented a camper van and really enjoyed it. And so he ended up buying a small van, Ram ProMaster City, which is kind of like a little bit bigger than a minivan. And so he bought that, and we just over the pandemic, we're all at home, and we're just fitted out for him and just like kind of like figured out, hey, we're not bad at this. I think we can probably make this work. So, yeah, that's kind of how it came together, and we've been doing it for a couple of years now. So
nice. So, yeah, I mean, describe a little bit of the process about going through. I mean, we're gonna take a look at some of your work here in a minute, but yeah, kind of sort of describe the process. I mean, do you guys get people like that, kind of commission out, or like hey, I've got a van, do this with? I mean, do you just grab vans and then kind of soup them up and then sell them, kind of? But yeah, describe the process a little bit.
Yeah, so it can work kind of both ways, how you said. So right now we're currently working on a Ford Transit, and how this one happened, we went out looking, we bought the van, and we're gonna fit it out and try to flip it and sell it afterwards. But in the past, we've done several more custom vans, is kind of what we call it. So where a customer has the van and they come to us with either a vision, and we help them make that a reality, creating designs and things like that, or else maybe they have some designs, or even we've had folks come to us with a van that's partially built, and they say, we got this far, we'd like you to help us finish it. So it can kind of come any step of the way for that, and yeah, we just help people figure out what they want and go from there.
What are some of the biggest challenges, I guess, to doing these kind of custom vans? I mean, is it sort of tearing everything apart? Is it, what kind of issues do you sort of run into, kind of along the way?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, that can be anything. There's, initially we've kind of got to the point where we have things templated out pretty well but in our background, our older brother, Andrew, has a background building and installing kitchen cabinetry, and so we do some of that as well. But in a house, usually things are square, or at least like proper angles and things. In a van, it's things are you never use a level in a van, first of all, because it doesn't matter if it's level, because wherever you park, that depends, that throws it off anyways. So yeah, that's a big challenge for sure, figuring out the curvature of the van and how to get things to fit and look nice and also be secure so it's not going to fall off, and yeah, that kind of thing.
You guys have, you have running water hookups in these vans too, and plumbing and whatever too. I mean, describe a little bit of how that works.
So that's been a learning for us as well. So we, the framing and the building and stuff is more our background, and so figuring out the electrical work and some of the plumbing, and we have gotten some help from friends of ours and experts, helped us teach us along the way as well. But we typically try to do just make it as simple as possible, but try to also make it convenient when you're out on the road, So we'll put in, like you said, like sinks for running water and with drains and everything, and electrical systems with lights and chargers and solar panels, and there's a system we really like called Goal Zero that we use most often, which kind of makes it convenient for us as builders, but also as a customer, for a user, makes it friendly for them. If something were to happen when they're out on the road, they can repair it easily, or at least troubleshoot and kind of get someone to help them figure it out.
So people that buy your van, so generally if they're driving these around, would they go to like RV parks, kind of like anywhere they can kind of hook up to water, that sort of deal? Is it sort of the same concept?
Yeah, it can be the same concept. So we've got, let's see, you wouldn't necessarily need a water hookup. So the last van we did had a 20-gallon freshwater tank, which that's enough to last you, especially if you're not showering and things like that. That's enough to last you weeks. Just drinking water, and obviously depending on usage. But man, you can drive anywhere with these things. That's what is so nice about them. What we like about them, they're smaller, easier to move than RVs. You can get them off dirt roads and in tighter spaces and things like that. So yeah, all across the country, there's Bureau of Land Management has tons of land out west where you can camp and park for free, and different campsites and campgrounds and RV parks, and if it comes down to it, Walmart parking lots or Cracker Barrel is a really good one too, because they let you stay there and you get a nice spot for breakfast in the morning. So
I got you. Talk a little bit too about kind of van culture. Like I've got a couple friends that they have got old vans that they've kind of souped up, not as nice as what you guys are doing. But I mean, like there's a whole kind of subculture to that. Where people really love their vans. There's like van get-togethers. I know there's like concerts and stuff around where everybody just comes and they park, and there's the festivals almost as far as kind of around vans. But I mean, do you see a lot of your customers in that sort of crowd?
Oh yeah, yep. It's a pretty cool community, really. It's and it really took off during COVID. People, a lot of jobs went remote, and so a lot of these vans are Wi-Fi capable, and so people just were like, well, why stay cooped up here in my apartment? If I got to be in a small space, might as well be mobile. And so the van life culture kind of took off, but it has been going on for a long time. And so my background personally is in the outdoor world. So I was a guide backpacking and rock climbing out in California, in Yosemite National Park. And that's like the whole dirtbag culture is kind of the climbing twist to van life. People living in vans or small school buses or SUV, whatever, converting it. And so, yeah, I think it's just this attitude or this idea that gives you such mobility and freedom, and you can go wherever you want. You can park and stay for 2 weeks or a month, or you can stay one night. So
did you do a lot of camping? I mean, your brothers do a lot of camping and stuff growing up. I mean, were you guys real? I would assume you guys are probably real outdoorsy and stuff as well too. But I mean, where did sort of the van aspect kind of come into play for you guys?
Yeah, we enjoyed. We played we grew up in Greenford area. Went to South Range High School, so Youngstown area, and yeah, we always enjoyed it. I wouldn't say we were extremely outdoorsy growing up. That happened for me personally after school, and ended up out west for a while. But as far as the three of us, it really, so Luke and Isaac Schuster kind of made a joke about it. Shout out to the MLO bros. We were there a couple weeks ago, but Adam, our younger brother Adam, and his wife Liz got married in 2020, and they had a honeymoon planned for Bali. That got canceled 2020. They couldn't do the traveling and everything, and so then they ended up renting this van. And they loved it, and they toured the West for a while, and so that was the joke. Was like that's COVID in a nutshell, like going from Bali to a van, but for your honeymoon. But it worked out well for the rest of us, so we're not complaining.
Nice. Well, so I was out at your place a little bit earlier today, so we're gonna take a look at some of the footage. And you guys are out in Salem, right? It's the Salem/Greenford area, but it's Salem address, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so this is the shop. This was just a barn, when we were kids. So it's where we had some goats and stuff. But
it's a beautiful property out there.
Yeah, thanks. Yep, out behind our parents.
And can folks come see you guys pretty much kind of by appointment if they want to, if they have an idea or if they've got something they're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. We also do smaller woodworking things, furniture and cutting boards, things like that, up to cabinetry and kitchens and bathroom vanities, and so we'll hopefully get a chance to look at some of that work as well. But
for sure, yeah.
There's always wood scraps around, so that's what you're seeing there. Fire starter and everything.
Your shop is one of the cleanest shops I've ever been into. It's organized. I've been in some where it's just it's like a bomb went off. Some car mechanics garages and stuff like that. It's like oh my god, how do you work in here? But you guys is remarkably clean for the work you do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's always like that. I promise. Yeah, we try to keep things organized.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty you all have shown to us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all of the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available, everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have your technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278, or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
And so, what are you guys, what are you guys working on here?
So this is the, it's a 2015 Ford Transit. It's a mid-roof. So this started just as an empty utility van, cargo van type of thing. So started from scratch, and we're building. You can see straight across is going to be the kitchen galley, the archway. There's going to be a sink just to the left in that center base cabinet there. Yeah, so we're working on converting this. There's going to be a bed platform in the back, which you'll see, a little bench with some electrical workings underneath of it, and kitchen. So nice little living van. I'm about 5'10", and it is a little too short for me to stand up, so it's perfect for folks a little shorter than me. I think we'll go back to Andrew here. He's actually working on gluing up the countertop for in the van.
And where do you guys get your materials from?
Yeah, we get some from all over. We got big supply of lumber from an old friend of my grandfather's. He was selling it. So we've got that stored out in a different building. And then we use Baird Brothers a lot. They're a local great supplier, very convenient. And then we also like Kime Lumber. It's out in Holmes County. They do really good exotic stuff. And for our like drawer slides and hardware, there's some right there, drawer slides on top. And our Uncle Alan Steyer, is local from the area. He was a cabinet maker in Greenford, Ohio for, that was what he did for his career. He retired a few years ago, but I know Andrew worked with him some. I did a little bit growing up, and it was just a couple summers in his shop, and just kind of got some of the odds, like learned some from him. And he also was around when we were setting up our shop, so he helped us give us some tips and things. So he was a really good resource for us.
Hey, there's your dad.
Yep. Poking around.
About how long, kind of from start to finish, does it take you guys to complete a van?
Good question. Yeah, we typically say about 6 to 7 weeks, start to finish, and obviously then it depends on the level of detail and if it's something we've done before, or if there's a lot of new things that we need to figure out, that kind of thing. But yeah, 6 weeks is typically what we'll estimate.
Has anybody asked for something like, totally outrageous? Like, all right, there's no way there's no way we could put that in your van.
Not yet. I mean, there's been some unique requests. We've had one person's idea had a bed with a lift. So you lower it at night when you want to sleep, and in the day, then it is on a winch system. It would lift up to the ceiling, and then there'd be a desk and a seating area underneath. They did not end up going with that, but we figured out we could have done it. It's just, it's there's pros and cons to all these different ideas. There's possibilities are endless with some of these van designs. Yeah, so this room here, we're looking through straight ahead in those glass doors. There's a paint booth, with proper ventilation and everything, and then this room out here is just mostly storage. You can see all the lumber, keeps it nice and dry. The black piece there on the sawhorses is a floating shelf that we'll be installing for a coffee bar.
Yeah, and how often do you guys get kind of requests for cabinetry and that sort of thing?
Fairly often. I would say our time is split pretty evenly, almost 50-50 between working on vans, custom or otherwise, and then, just plain, standard cabinetry. We've done commercial cabinetry jobs for fire halls and office spaces and things like that. And then we just did a big laundry job recently and full kitchens. So he's working on the water pump system there, and that's with a accumulator, and so that will pump the water from the tank. It'll be on a switch, so whenever you are in the kitchen parked and you want to turn on the sink, you just activate a switch, turns on the pump, and then you can just use the sink like normal. You can see me there working on installing an outlet. That's going to be a bench that I'm working on, so you can sit on top of there, and there'll be a pivoting table that you can, so kind of a idea is like a workspace or a spot to sit and eat right there. But an outlet would make it usable as a workspace.
So if you have an outlet in there and you're running power off of there, where would you hook that up like at an RV camp or something like that as far as the power, or hook up a generator to it?
So this actually is going to have a Goal Zero system, and so it has 250 amp hours, and I think hopefully we'll get a shot of that. But that's a great question. So up on top on the roof rack, there's 3 100-watt solar panels.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
So and then the orange cord to the left, which you just saw a second ago, is plug-in. That's called shore power. Basically, plug it into an extension cord. And then there's a third way to charge that battery system, which is hooked up to the battery in the van to the alternator. So when you're driving down the road, it's also charging your van battery, your Goal Zero. And so with 250 amp hours and then 300 watts of solar, you can realistically last week. If it's 1 or 2 of you out there living in the van, even with no solar, you could probably last 3 to 5 days, something like that. If you're just using like a fridge and a few lights here and there, charging your phone, that kind of thing. But then with the added solar, obviously it depends on usage. If you're watching movies every night, then it's not going to last as long. But
right.
Or if you have like an AC system or something like that, that takes tons of power. But for what we've got, fridge and some fans, like you can last with solar for a couple weeks.
Nice.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty you all have shown to us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all of the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available, everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have your technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278, or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
Yeah, so that's the countertop then. So this is red oak, and it's going to be stained black with Rubio monocoat. We like that with the red oak because the grain pattern is nice and tight and pretty uniform, and so it looks cool with a dark stain. You can still see the grain patterns coming through that will match the ceiling in the van if you get a chance to see that. Should be cool.
Yeah, there'll be some other shots I think coming up where I'm coming kind of from behind and get a little closer into the van that you're working on here, and then you showed me there's a completed one that I walked through too as well that you guys had there. That we'll see here in a second.
Cool. Adam's he helps with the research on like plumbing, electrical, solar power, that kind of thing, and he also is our like office administrator guy. So that's a cool shot of him using the saw because he doesn't do that very often.
I'll send you the clip.
Yeah. Don't tell him I said that. Yeah, so here's the back side. So that's the bed platform up top, and then underneath there is, we call it the garage area. So there's going to be a, I believe, 20-gallon water tank on the left with the pump system that Adam was working on. Oh, there's the Goal Zero straight in there. That is going to go in the bench, but that's the battery system that charges.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that's a awesome little system, all in one. You just plug it into your fuse block through the the output system, and then you're plugging your different inputs, and it very small learning curve, which we like.
No, that's cool, and it's super easy access to that garage area for any of this stuff, to kind of get at. I mean, it's literally just that panel, or it's I'm guessing just like a little door, and then you're in, and you can get to it, and then obviously you can get to it from behind, I'm sure too.
Yep, exactly. There will also be a composting toilet, Nature's Head toilet, which will be like on a drawer, so it will slide in under there, and you can pull it out when you need to use it. Yeah, and those toilets are awesome. They have a air vent, and you mix it with coconut husk, and you crank it, and it
nice,
very contained system, which is very convenient.
Nice. So yeah, here's the finished one.
Yeah, so this one is currently for sale. We built this out about a year ago, and the customers are now ready to sell. It's got a hickory ceiling. All those drawers are soft close, hinges, and slides, and they've got latch systems for when you're driving that doesn't jiggle and shake open. Yeah, and here's another look at the garage system. Those are some traction, panels, and you can level out your van that way when you're parking. And there's a good look at the water system completed. The bed, some reading lights. Try to squeeze as much storage as we can into here, but it's, as you can imagine, living in a van, it's hard.
Sure.
But so that's why we got lots of upper cabinets, some good airflow, max air fans. We got one in the front and back, so you can put one on intake and one outtake, so it gets a nice cycle of air going through. And that is a pop-up counter there. You can see it's folded down right now, but it lifts up with a swivel table behind it on the other bench. Yeah, and that sink rotates around and pulls that out, so you can use it to spray off your dog or, do a makeshift shower if you need to out.
Yeah.
Yep, little shelf up top, making use of all the space.
So how often do you guys hear the Chris Farley joke with the van down by the river?
Yeah, yep.
I lived it. I mean, this would be great.
Yeah, it's like
this isn't bad at all. Like, it's not a joke anymore.
Well, I think the joke
this would be
used to
nice.
be like, if you drop out of college or whatever, you're going to wind up living in a van down by the river. But now it's, you go to college and get a nice job and save up for a couple years, then you might be able to afford to live in a van down by the river.
Right, exactly.
Yep, little light in the, I think that one was used, that cabinet was used like as a wardrobe by the last folks. So here you'll get a look at the Nature's Head composting toilet, tucked away in there, pretty nice. You can see the Bloom hardware there with the soft close for life on the road.
How many vans have you guys done so far?
Yeah, good question. So we've done 6 or 7. I can't remember. This might be this. I don't know if this one here is the 7th or 8th that we've like full start to finish van. And then we've also done a few others that the customer has come to us with partially built out, and they say, "Hey, could you help us finish this or that?" And so,
Gotcha. Now we're up here in the office. You've converted the top part of the barn that you're working out of into an office space too.
Yeah.
This is really nice in here too.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was, you just saw the desk in the corner where Adam and I do our office work, and then we have it's a good spot to have our meetings or hang out. So just show off some of the other work we can do. All the woodworking in here we've done, these cabinets in the bar and the coffee table, and still more projects planned. But Andrew is our main woodworker, and he just loves to tinker around and design things. And
Yeah, it's a great countertop. I mean, great countertops, but the one for the bar is really cool.
yeah, he actually built that for Adam and Liz's wedding.
Oh, nice.
So, and it was fun to try to figure out how to lift it up in there. But
And then so some of the stuff we're going to see here in a second now these are photos of stuff that's been kind of completed, whether it's vans or cabinetry and other kind of work that you guys have done. So,
yep. So here's just another shot of the 2018 Pro Master that's for sale. Kind of staged a little bit with some homey touches there, but and this is another previous van we've done. This was a different Ford, but it's a little bit higher roof, and so just different color schemes and ceiling. These
nice.
Mountain scene, all from wood, made by hand, is a kind of a signature we've done in several of our vans. Kind of a nice touch on the inside where you don't have windows.
yeah, I mean, that looks cool though too. And then I like the brick backsplash there on the straight ahead too, or on the other side of the sink, which looks great.
Yep. Oh, this is a cool one. This is the first one we did. This was Adam and Liz bought this, and this was the COVID project where we were, just figuring it out. And so, smaller van, you can't stand up in it, but good spot to crawl in and sleep. A little bit of storage on the right. That bed folds up into a couch, and then this drawer that you see is the kitchen system that pulls out. So it's got some cabinets, storage, and a little stove that pops up. So
Nice.
And this is another van we did that's a little different style of mountain scene there, but yeah, some built-in cabinets for a friend of ours with a nice red oak countertop. This is up at the rescue mission in the director's office. Cabinets to match the rest of the cabinets in the rescue mission, and then a black walnut live edge countertop.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, here's some office cabinets we did for a local business. Yeah, some more. I think this one's at a fire hall. All sorts of different finishes available, but yeah, these are some progress photos. This is about halfway through the Ford Transit that we're working on now. That we, all the footage was from. This van's about halfway through. So on the left, you can see the bed frame is just starting to be put in. There's framing on the walls, which we, attach the wall paneling to. There's our dog Dixie. And then on the right, you can see we're starting to fill in with some insulation. So we use all Havelock wool insulation, super high R value for warmth and noise canceling. And also it's literally is wool from sheep. And so it's safe to be around. It's not like working with fiberglass and things like that. And so also you're in a van driving down the road, hitting bumps and shaking around. Fiberglass insulation can cause dust that will, you'd be breathing that in then, and wool does not. Yeah, here's some kitchens we've worked on. The left is a full kitchen. We did all that cabinetry. 3 layers of cabinetry with the glass uppers, modern contemporary style. That's kind of Andrew's specialty. On the right is just a kitchen island we did. It's a black cabinet bases, soft close, and that's you see there's no hardware there, so that's what you call it, the tip-on hinges and slides. So you actually just push the door in a little bit and it'll pop right out.
Nice.
It's also soft close, and it's got a black walnut countertop, hardwood countertop.
Nice. Well, actually, how could folks get in contact with you, man? Is it just awvanworks.com? I mean, but yeah, you have a phone number, kind of the address too?
Yeah, exactly. So awvanworks.com is our website. You can find all of our information on there. Our Instagram and Facebook is also AW Vanworks. I think Instagram is AW Vanworks LLC. And so you can find us on there, follow along with all of our progress and updates and things like that. We'd love to have you follow along with us. And then you can email us, info@awvanworks.com, or give us a call or even text. That's fine too, at 330-540-3036.
Awesome. Well, Alex, thank you so much for coming down, man. It was a pleasure.
Oh, absolutely. It's so much fun. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Absolutely.